Beardy fat bloke outside Old Trafford, and we are going to be talking. Listen. This show is about to have more zeros than a whole brand new, fresh summer 2022 version of a box of Cheerios. Shall I just go down the list of names that we've been linked with? Now, there's one name on this list I think we're going to get. Ready? Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, Thomas Meunier, Moussa Dembele, Matheus Cunha, Hakim Ziyech, Adrien Rabiot, Jamie Vardy, Icardi, Raul de Thomas, Moses Caicedo, Yannick Carrasco, João Felix, Pulisic, Anthony, Aubameyang, Jan Sommer, Sergio Dest and Malo Gusto. That's who we've been linked with this fucking week. Now, there's two things at play here. Either Manchester United are in full 10-2 mode and anyone will do, or we are actually no idea what we're doing, or the journalists have literally no idea what we're doing. And the brief that they got from the club is like, yeah, we're trying to buy some players. And the club like, they're signing everyone. Are they signing everyone? We clearly can't be linked with all those players. It's not even possible for us to be linked with all those players. For starters, that's more players than we've even fucking got right now. I mean, we're going to send everyone and buy these, are we? We're not going to do that, are we? We're not doing that. That's just nonsense. Right. Should I go and give some of these a rating? Milinkovic-Savic, do I think he could happen? Yeah, there's probably a little bit of something in that. Meunier, yeah, there's probably a little bit of something in that. It's talking about getting him for about 10 million, something like that. Definitely the right back. We'll probably give that some sort of thing. Moussa Dembele, love it. Don't think so. Cunha, he's apparently tossed us off. The fourth choice Atletico Madrid striker has been like, what? No. Someone said he was worth 50 million euros as well. For a striker that can't fucking score. If you like people who run around a lot, see what fucking Mo Farah's up to. Ziyech. Rabiot. Thank fuck that's over. Jamie Vardy. Was we ever really in for Jamie Vardy? Would you want us to be in for Jamie Vardy? Rather not. Icardi. Trouble. I mean, this list is... João Felix. Manchester United put 130 foot... No, we didn't. How about that? No, we did not. I don't even know what journalist decided to write that with a straight face and be like, yeah, United... Anyway, should we get into that, the proper shit now? Right, okay. This is what we're here for, isn't it? Casemiro. What's going on with him? I think we're fucking signing him. How about that? Straight off the bat. Who's saying it? Everyone. Ornstein, Sky Sports, Romano. Everybody's talking about it. The last word that we kind of got, and this is probably going to have developed from where I'm standing here right now to the time you're sitting there on a shitter watching me. And if you're sitting on the shitter, give us it a like. Wash your hands, you dirty bastard. There's talk of him having a medical in the next 48 hours. So I would say that by the time you're watching this, we know all the details about everything. They started coming out with the different options in his contract. They started talking about the different level of add-ons. When it gets into that sort of detail, do you know what that means? Means it's happening. The only reservation I've got of him as a footballer is he is on this downside of his career. And I've seen some people take umbrage with that yesterday in the comments. But he is. He's 30. Are his best years in front of him or behind him? On the balance of probability, you'd have to say that they're behind him. And we're talking about 70 million euros for a player with his best years behind him. Is he still going to be here in 3 years? That's a massive question mark. Now, you spend 70 million on a 23 or 24-year-old. If they're still here in 3 years' time, they've probably still got some resale value. Do you think there's any resale value left whatsoever in a 30-year-old at that age? Cristiano Ronaldo still had some resale value. Guess what? Casemiro's not Cristiano Ronaldo, even though it seems to me that we're trying to reassemble a 2014 Real Madrid team. And if we wanted to assemble teams from 10 years ago that was successful, let's get Phil Jones back in the mix. My only issue with Casemiro is 70 million is a lot of money for a 30-year-old. And I want to read out to you all of these 30-year-olds or near 30-year-olds that United have signed in the last 10 years. And I'll just leave it out there hanging, and then you decide whether this is a good idea or not. Michael Owen, done when he arrived at 29. RVP, signed him at 29. He had one good season. Done as fuck. Juan Mata, we never saw his Chelsea form. We actually signed him at 27. Falcao, Valdez, Schweinsteiger, Romero, Mkhitaryan, he was only 28. Zlatan, one season. Matic, he was only 28 as well. Alexis, he was only 29. Odion Ighalo, Cavani. I mean, even Tellez at 27 didn't go well, did it? Rafael Varane, he was only 28. And Ronaldo. Now, that list, does that look like a glittering list of absolute fucking heroes that have all done well for us? Now, I've been proven wrong with older players that have moved to the Premier League latter stage of their career. Thiago Silva absolutely had my fucking pants down because I was like, there is not a prayer he's going to be able to handle the Premier League after coming from Paris. Thiago Silva has been protected a little bit by Chelsea playing a back three, otherwise it's up for debate whether or not he would have been able to replicate the sort of form that we've seen him have earlier in his career. But I think Casemiro will still be a success. Here's the thing, he's better than what we've got. And he'll be better than what we've got for at least 2 years. At least, maybe 3, maybe even 4. But when you're spending that sort of cash, why not spend it looking for the player? I know, I used this example yesterday and I'm just going to use it again. Tchouaméni. Real Madrid spent this sort of cash on Tchouaméni, who's probably going to be in their midfield for the next 10, maybe even 15 years. You only have a certain shelf life at the very top of the game, unless you're a freak, right? I just have my doubts. Like, when you get players out of Real Madrid and you get players out of Bayern Munich, do you ever really get their best years out of them? Usually those, and this is what used to happen at United, by the way. You might get a player out of Manchester United, but it's when Manchester United decide that he's done. And this is not where we are now as a club, clearly. But that's the sort of thing that I want us to be getting back to. Forget Casemiro, go and find a new Casemiro. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. I think this one's all but sewn up. And I think he'll be good for us. I think he is a good signing. If he was 20 million, I might not put pants on. But 70 million, when you know that these tight bastards in charge of our club aren't going to be spending loads, like, as soon as I saw the first line of Manchester United have bid 130... No, we didn't! We don't have that sort of cash. We were never going to bid that sort of money. You're lying. That's a load of bollocks. Simple. So when you start seeing 70 million spent on a central midfielder, okay, we needed a central midfielder, that's for sure. It clearly means that the De Jong deal is now dead. Does it also mean Milinkovic-Savic is now dead? Because although I think Milinkovic-Savic and Casemiro would be a fucking sensational midfield pairing that would really sort our shit out, I have zero confidence that we're going to be signing both of those. I'm definitely sure our blockbuster midfielder is one or the other. It does still seem that we're in for a right winger or possibly a left winger. But do you know what I mean? Moise Caicedo. Could have had him for 5 million last year, and we said, no, let's wait until he's worth 10 times as much. Do I think our interest is real? Yes. Brighton are on the he ain't for sale, fuck off sort of stance, which is the stance that you make with any player. For the money, like, this is going back to the Casemiro thing briefly. For the money involved, yeah, Caicedo might be the new Casemiro. But you've even got Premier League proven players like Ndidi that you could have gone and got for this sort of money. You might have even been able to get Ndidi and Yuri Tielemans for roughly Casemiro money. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like we make smart decisions. This is a proper 10-2 buy. For all the men watching this, which I think is about 97.5% of the audience. This is like when you're doing your Christmas shopping, right? You get up at the crack of noon on Christmas Eve, and then you head into town with the 4 million other men, and you just buy whatever the fuck you can get into a shop on. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Lush, bath bombs, who for? Grandad. Like, that's what it feels like we've done. We've walked in, we've gone, oh, Casemiro's good. And we've grabbed him, and then we've got to the till and they've gone 70 million, and you're going to go, fuck. All right, put on a credit card. That's what it feels like we're doing, in my opinion. And, you know, again, shit planning, buy bad, buy twice. If you'd have had some fucking foresight and got Caicedo last season for 5 million, you don't need to spend 70 on Casemiro this year. You don't need to spend 50 on fucking Caicedo this year. You know what I mean? Use your fucking noggin, for fuck's sake. I don't think he's going to come. I think we're interested, so I can't give it a 0. 1 out of 10. Anthony. We have spoken previously about Anthony. I'll keep this one briefer. You know my thoughts on him as a footballer. And if you don't, well, go watch them fucking videos. His price seems to have lowered by about 14, 15 mil now to like mid-60s. Does that make it more palatable? Yeah, maybe. I just don't have, again, I don't have the confidence that United are going to pull off 70 million euros for Casemiro and then also another 70 million for a right winger. Do we need that? Yeah, there we do, yeah. But I just don't believe we're going to do that. I think the interest is real, but I can't give it more than a 4 out of 10, even at that money. Pulisic, on loan. Now, Pulisic for me, good player, not brilliant, not amazing, but good dribbler. His numbers are a little bit disappointing in terms of his actual output. I think he's a bit what's the word? Flatters to deceive, they say, don't they? Yeah, we'll go with that. Flatters to deceive a little bit. Good dribbler, doesn't actually really fucking do a lot. A little bit like Zaha. Good dribbler, how about fucking doing something when you get in there with it, you know what I mean? Can you beat a man? Yeah. Are you going to do anything with it when you get there? Yeah. Is he an upgrade on Alanga? Yeah, he is, yeah. I wouldn't take a risk on him if we was buying him for 40, 50 million, but getting him on loan, it's pretty risk-free for United, so I would say let's do it if it's going to be a loan for Pulisic. And I think there's half a chance that one could happen, so I'll say 6 out of 10. Jan Sommer. Don't feel like we talk about goalkeepers almost at all on here. Such is David De Gea's wage, and if you don't think that's a factor, grow up. Such is David De Gea's wage. His position at the club is secure, let's say that, yeah? So seeing Jan Sommer linked with us, who is a good keeper, is he good enough to displace De Gea? I'd say he's more well-rounded. I'm going to do a scout report on my channel on all goalkeepers that could actually replace De Gea, so keep an eye out for that one. And it seems like United are interested in a backup, which begs the question, who's Tom Heaton pissed off? Because I don't understand why you've got a player of the quality Tom Heaton is, who definitely had offers from Premier League clubs before he joined us last year, probably as first choice, and was like, nah, I'll go to United actually. The way we've been treating goalkeepers is fucking bananas. You know, Dean Henderson's going out here, probably the best keeper on United's books, playing for Nottingham Forest. De Gea's wages mean that you're probably never selling him, because someone else goes, oh, I'll buy De Gea, yeah, 40 million, 50 million, something like that maybe, 30 million even. All right, cool. How much is he on? What? No one else is going to buy him for that. When you're not as well-rounded as that, maybe he could go to a team that's struggling for relegation and his shot stopping will really come into play and you're not expecting his distributions to be much. But those teams aren't going to spend 300, 400 grand a week on a goalkeeper. Whoever authorised that contract, and this is the thing, right? Barcelona got proper into this. Yeah, when they were giving out 800 grand a week to Griezmann because Messi's on 2.6 million a week. And you go, it's Messi, all right. Cool. But then it leads to that. And then you have like random fuckers on 400 grand a week and, you know, new signings come in and they have to go on 800 grand a week, otherwise it makes no sense. Like, I think Suarez was on over $500,000 a week, 600 grand a week, something like that before they moved him on. And what happens is when you get one person on a fucking bonkers wage, it just filters through. When we put Alexis Sanchez on 470 grand a week, I mean, for starters, I know you're all thinking, you're all sitting there going, Steve, but think of the value for money that we got. And of course, you're 100% correct. I would expect all of the 4 goals that we got out of Alexis Sanchez for that sort of cash every single fucking week. And then I thought it was nothing but a privilege to pay half of that while he was at Inter. That's how much I thought he was value for money. But when you put him on that sort of cash, your goalkeeper, who is at the time actually performing, comes in and goes, hey, I'm playing well every single week. He's turd. I won't pay in a significant amount of money a week. And you as a board then have to sign that shit, otherwise you look mental. Even if you look mental for signing it. And then the knock-on effect with that was like Dean Henderson ended up on 130 grand a week, which made him, I think, like the 5th highest paid goalkeeper in the league. There's like 15 other goalkeepers that start for their teams while he's sitting there polishing his balls. That's how contracts just fucking spiral out of control. So that's the impact that David De Gea's contract can have on him at the moment, probably keeping him at the club. Anyway, Jan Sommer, I think we're going to get a backup goalkeeper. Someone's upset with Tom Heaton by the looks of it. How often does your third goalkeeper even have to pull a pair of gloves on? Or, I don't know, use the fucking academy. Or, I don't know, put an advert for a trial in 442 magazine, see how many people turn up. You'll get some good goal. Genuinely, if Manchester United said, hey, listen, let's have a third goalkeeper, the chances of you playing a single fucking minute in any competitive fixture is... It's probably about that much higher than me playing any fucking competitive minutes in any fixture, right? Not high. So I think if you put an advert out and just said, we're going to run a trial, net idle, yeah? Broadcast it, that's another £1 million idea. I'm fucking full of them. Run a competition. Was it Scott Sinclair that got a contract with Chelsea back in the day? On the back of like a TV sort of competition, like an academy sort of thing. Run some sort of fucking competition to find a third goalkeeper. They'll never have to play. You get to give out a fucking pony little contract to someone and it'd be good content, wouldn't it? I'd watch the fuck out of that. That'd be well interesting to see behind the scenes of United like that. The third goalkeeper, your third goalkeeper in a team is like such a fucking meh position. And if you've still got Dean Henderson on the books. You've got Tom Heaton on the books. If Tom Heaton isn't good enough to be your second goalkeeper, then in your eyes, why is he still here? Because I'm pretty sure Tom Heaton could go and play Premier League football weekly, not just like once a month. You know what I'm saying? So Jan Sommer at United. I don't think Jan Sommer, certainly not in the sort of talk that, De Gea's been shit for 2 weeks, so we're going to buy a new goalkeeper. I don't think we are. I think you'll address that problem one of the last, I think. Because I think a lot of De Gea's problems are coachable. His passing and decision making is coachable. You can fix that sort of stuff. The claiming crosses, probably not at this stage of his career, admittedly. But yeah, Jan Sommer at United, 1 out of 10. Kuna, 0 out of 10. Not happening. That fucking striker who don't know where the net is. João Felix for 130 million. I can only go to 0. It's fucking... It was 0 before they wrote the tweet. There was fucking no chance United was going to pay 130 million for João Felix. 0. Forget it. It's nonsense. And if you find the journalist who wrote it, you are allowed to point at him in the street and go get a real fucking job, mate. Thomas Meunier. He's been at United a few times in the past. The talk of the price is somewhere in the region of 10 million. And I like that. But isn't it bonkers that you could probably get someone like Meunier in for a fifth of what you paid for Wan-Bissaka? And we're probably only going to get about 10 mil. How the hell we're going to sell Wan-Bissaka back to Palace? We've basically just given Palace 40 million quid. We'll take him. We'll keep him for a couple of years. Fuck it, have him back. And they get to keep the difference. That's fucking bonkers, isn't it? I almost would sell him to a different club out of spite. Otherwise, what happened? So Palace are like, yeah, so this happened with Zaha with them, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Like, they raise them, we buy them for a fucking rate load, they're shit, we send them back there, and they pay a fucking half-eaten Twix and a sandwich from Greg's. And we go, yeah, good bit of business. What the fuck? If you did that in any other job, right, you'd be on your arse so fast. Just come here a sec. Says here we just sold Wan-Bissaka back to the place that we bought him for 50 million, but only for fucking 10 million. Do you want to fucking riddle me that? Wasn't very good, boss. So why the fuck did we buy him for 50 mil? Who are we talking about? Oh, Meunier, 10 mil. Yeah, I think there's something in this. Let's get a 4 out of 10. Milinkovic-Savic. Last week I think I give it 4s, maybe 3, I think. Can't remember. I think with the news of Casemiro really pushing on, I'm going to have to drop it down to a 2, maybe even a 1. And it's purely on the basis that I don't believe we've got the money to get both. They're different players. One's obviously going to be more of a 6 and Milinkovic-Savic would be an 8. I just don't think we've got that cash. So as much as I'd love to sit here and say, oh, what a midfield we're going to have. Casemiro, Milinkovic-Savic and Bruno. That's a midfield you can be proud of. That's a midfield that you can go into a team, any game this season and go, I think we'll have a go. But I don't think we're going to have that midfield here. So, 2 out of 10. Begovic. I mean, what a random name to pull out your ass if it was for clicks. People are like, Begovic? Jesus. Yeah, let's get on that. So, there's probably some truth to it. Why we're so insistent on buying a backup goalkeeper when we don't even really have a backup striker that would play. Do you know what I mean? When I talk about the foresight of this fucking football club, about fuck the goalkeeper off. Literally, like I said before, just put a trial out. You'll have 20,000 people turn up here with the gloves. Striker's different story because that fucker's going to have to play. And we don't have one. Begovic, yeah, fuck it, maybe a 5 out of 10. Gakpo. Now, this one's interesting. I actually do think there's something in Gakpo. Why? Well, and it doesn't make sense on it. He's fucking Dutch and that, innit? So, hang on, is he Dutch? Yeah, he's Dutch. It's fucking Dutch and that, innit? And he plays in Holland. So you know he's in a WhatsApp group with Ten Hag. You see it on like Lad Bible and shit like that, where lads just added like every fucking bird in the phone book and been like, right then, who's up? Basically, Ten Hag's done that with every Dutch player. Right then, who's ever fancied going on holiday to Manchester? Who that just left the group. So yeah, it makes sense. Good player, very good season last season. Again, the exchange rate between the Eredivisie and the Championship, difficult to sort of put together, but I think it's a doable deal. They're talking, I mean, I've seen prices from like 18 million euros to 35 million euros. It's still good money. And I think that's the sort of signing that's worth the gamble. And I can't give it more than a 6 because I don't think we're quite there yet, but I feel like there's something in this one. Just something. And then the outs. James Garner. And I've had bit of a whinge about this already this week, but I'll do it again. Gibbs White's just gone to Forest for 44 million. He's had one decent season in the Premier League. One decent season in the Premier League means that you're worth 3 times as much as a England underage captain and someone who was unreal. Not just a decent season in the Championship, but fucking unreal in the Championship. People are like, I've seen people going, well, he's got like 40 appearances in the Premier League and he's got 2. He's been on loan in the fucking Championship, you melon. Of course he has. Manchester United letting James Garner go when we literally need players in his position is mental. Why we are not just giving this kid a go. I give him a go against Liverpool on Monday night. You'll see some fight out of him. And not his old man, and his old man would not be happy at me calling him a Scouser, but he's a fucking Scouser, or at least he sounds like a Scouser anyway. He's from Birkenhead. I think they don't like being called Scousers. But he's a Scouser, right? And I know that any time that we go and play Liverpool, Jimmy Garner had the game of his life because it was time for him to turn up. I don't know if his family supports Liverpool or anything like that. I didn't want to know the answer, so I've never asked, right? But he plays like he was born in Gorton. Like, he plays like he's got Stretford end running through his veins. He's captained us at every age group. He's captained England at various different age groups. The kid is a fucking leader. The kid is a fucking warrior. And not only that, he's talented. He's gone and proved his talent in the Championship. It's one of the hardest leagues in the world to do that. And we're not even giving him an opportunity. He's like 45 minutes. He wasn't great against Rayo Vallecano. And I'm sure he'll tell you that himself. But there's no match fitness in him. He's been injured. Give the fucker a chance. When you're looking at Scott McTominay consistently underperforming, for whatever reason Donny van der Beek still can't get a fucking shirt, you've got options in there. Rotate through all the options before letting him go. If you let him go for 14, 15 million, you are going to regret it, because that is a Premier League footballer. Look at who's trying to buy him. It's established Premier League teams. It's not a promoted team. It's not a fucking League 2 side. Yeah. Radcliffe Borough aren't trying to get him on loan. He's going to Premier League sides. If you tried to buy a kid that had just smashed it in the Championship, that was belonging to another Premier League team, let's say you wanted to buy Levi Colwill from Chelsea after the performance he had at Huddersfield last season, do you think you're getting him for 14 fucking million? They're going to say 30 or 40 million. Why are we getting shafted on the fucking price of a kid that's fucking unreal? Don't let him go. Now, if it's Jimmy that's pushing it because he's had a word with the manager and the manager says, I prefer McTominay, and he's gone, you're off your fucking napper, mate. Well, I guess I'd have to support that decision in a way from the player side of view, that he thinks he's better than what's playing, and that happens. But if it's United are just saying, like, look, he's for sale if anyone comes in for him, then that's a fucking shit decision. That's a proper shit decision. I thought this club was changing its tactics and how it was going to work, and you bring a manager in known for developing youngsters and giving them an opportunity, and then you sell one of the fucking jewels in the academy's crown. It's fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But I can't say there's nothing in it, so I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 10. Right, that's it for this weekend. Let's hope next weekend's a fucking better one. In a bit.